My favorite being the Dalai Lama.
But not lemurs.
Yeah.
Okay, we're recording now. You know this is going to go in the interview, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, Danny Filth. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to speak to Rock Radio here. I'm Dave Sider, baby, by the way. Um, we started again because I've messed up, basically. Um, Cradle of Filth. You've got a new album on the way out, sir.
We have indeed, yes.
The Scream of the Valkyries, yes?
Yep, out March the 21st, which is, well, as a crow flies, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
2 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah, it's the
Oh my
seventh
goodness.
today.
It's 2 weeks. So I have a big signing in HMV that weekend. I thought it was the weekend after. I bet you. Okay.
You haven't double booked yourself or anything like that, have you?
Uh, Probably.
Oh, well, there you go. Well done. I've been listening to the album all morning. It was sent to me yesterday. Um, Rather tasty, sir. Well done.
Thank you.
Um, I don't really want to go through dissecting songs to death with you. I mean, I prefer to ask you your favorite tracks of the album. So for you, what couple of tracks stand out?
Oh, well, I love them all. They're like my children. You can't favor one child over the other. You know that. It'd be awful.
No, I hate all mine
If you've
equally.
got a melody that, like Tiny Tim, then I guess you have to bestow a little bit more love on them. But there's nothing with the melody on this, no broken limbs or anything.
Brilliant.
Um, I'd say Exsanguine Draculae would be my
Mm,
favorite. Just because it's old school, sounds a bit like Dissection, that sort of vibe. Lots of very fast riffs, very
yeah.
ornate. Love the subject matter. Excuse me, that's my passport. Can you just give me one?
Yeah, so
Where
that's
were we?
next one.
Sorry about that.
No, we were talking about the album.
Favorite songs, yes, Sanguine Dracula, and I really like Malignant Perfection.
Yeah,
That's why we chose it as the first single. Just very catchy, very Halloweeny. I wanted to get on people's Halloween playlists so I can sit along the sides of Dead Kennedys and the Misfits.
hmm. Yeah. I mean, for me, White Hellebore was quite well, commercial's the wrong word, but very probably very commercial, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And To Live Deliciously was quite an opener as well.
Well, White Hellebore is the next single, which should be coming out with a video, I hasten
Right.
to add. Must be, oh my goodness me. If it's 2 weeks into the signing, then the video should be coming out in approximately 9 days.
Okay, that's something to
It's
look
a good
forward
one
to.
because I haven't seen the final edit yet. Um, and To Live Deliciously, that had a bit of a delay between uh, the single being released and the video, and that was because the video was being shot in LA, and obviously they had those dreadful fires,
Mm,
and they had to evacuate the studio for a few weeks.
wow.
Hence that was delayed because people were a bit like, what's this going on about? Why they haven't got the video out? Um, but yeah, I mean, I think the modus operandi we had for this record was not to deliver anything over than what we wanted. We wanted to be
Mm,
like proper 70s, 80s vibe. Because normally we're kind of goaded into doing the special edition, and then we get moaned at because the album's too long, because people have gone and bought a special edition because, well, quite frankly, it's a couple of euros more and you get expanded artwork and more songs. So I can't blame
yeah.
them for that. Um, and also we didn't want to have like, oh, you've got to, have a remix or something like this for the Philippines or Timbuktu or something. It was like, no, this album, we're not even going to have like a named intro, named outro, or Super Bowl,
Mm,
intervention in the middle or anything like that. It's just going to be the tracks, and we're going to make them as catchy as possible. Even and when I say catchy, I don't want people rolling their eyes and go, "Oh my god, they're all they're doing Dutch techno now." It's just meaning that you can be catchy and blast beat from start to finish if you wanted.
yeah.
Uh, Although I don't know how catchy that would be. Um, but just okay, let's say memorable songs. Each one you
Yeah.
go, okay, cool, I remember that. That's a good track. So that was our aim. Whether we fulfilled that or not, I don't know. But
I think you have. It's quite a straightforward album. There's no frills. There's no
hopefully,
uh,
it's plenty of
un,
thrills.
well, you know what I mean. There's no unnecessary frills. The music does speak for itself. You've been a strong songwriting force for quite some time now, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah, like literally 2,000 years now.
Is that how long it's been?
Pretty much, yeah. Just
Yeah.
after the Jesus.
Oh man. Oh, I wasn't
It
around
feels
for the
like
start.
feels like that. I mean, the musician years are like much like dog's years. We've had two new people in the band. They've been in the band 3 years.
Yeah.
Um, and Zoe, the keyboardist, has now married Ashok, the other guitarist.
Right.
Um, and yeah, that the 3 year period does feel like 21 years. It's just we've been so busy since the pandemic. We were just literally constantly out on the road,
Yeah.
and writing an album.
Yeah. I mean, the last album came out in 21, I believe. So that's about
Is
three,
it?
4 years, something like that.
Yeah, it was about 4 years ago. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So, what is next for Cradle of Filth? I mean, you've got a few dates coming up. We just touched on that for in the States, but you've got a few dates in the UK as well, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've got Download, of course,
Yeah.
and then we put a few extra dates because like I said, we've been touring a lot. Last year was frenetic to say the least, and we finished off the year with a headline tour in Europe and did a bunch of English shows, which we hadn't done. Well, British shows, let's say, because we went to
Right.
Ireland, and Scotland as well, and Wales, and it was fantastic. So this time we thought, well, let's drop some in for the summer run because we're on a bus that will take us between festivals,
Hmm.
and chosen Norwich, which is a bit homegrown for us, and then Margate, I think one of them is, and Torquay,
Oh,
just places we haven't played before. And yeah, the ticket sales going great. Um, although most people from Norwich will probably give them back now that Slayer have announced their thing in the park.
oh, I don't know about that, but Torquay's my neck of the woods. I mean, that's about 20, 30 minutes from me. So I just thought you wanted a bit of sun, catch a little bit of the English Riviera.
Oh yeah, yeah, the English Riviera. I thought the English Riviera was where I lived in Suffolk. How I've been
Nah.
deceived by the rain.
Oh dear. Going back to the album, I mean, I do love it. You're on My Nautilus is actually it's quite a long track, but it's rather progressive and intense as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I know this because I've done so many interviews and people
Mm.
bring it up, and every time I just go, I need to find out who wrote this this press release. Thing where they say, "Oh, it's like the darkest song Iron Maiden never wrote,"
Yeah, I believe
and
that is written there. Yeah, yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's good likeness, but it's also quite damning.
yeah.
My
I
account, everybody assumes that I wrote it, and it's like I didn't write my own biog. um, I would have had a much nicer looking bum in my biog. Um, but yeah, it's a great song. Um, and obviously using the Nautilus as a metaphor,
mm,
powerful metaphor. As everybody knows, I'm a big fan of Victoriana, and Jules Verne is no exception. And yeah, it's a song about companionship and strength and um, belief and trust, all wrapped up in sort of this steampunk
mm.
um, metaphor.
Okay. Well,
Song, yeah, it's very Maiden-esque because I think as a originally a British band,
mm,
although there's only two of us British at the present. Um, I think the baton's been passed down through the years by Maiden, Priest, obviously Sabbath for the originators of it all, and much overlooked. I think not in general, but I think for bands of our ilk is Thin Lizzy because
mm,
they had quite a punch, twin guitar wise as well. So I think the baton being passed down to us, I think the new wave of British heavy metal vibe. It's in our roots. I think we've employed it from day one.
Mm,
It's just you do get two very, very good guitarists as we have now. You want to exploit them. I
yeah.
mean, I don't put them to work in a salt mine or anything, but making good use of their fingers.
Very good. I mean, there's a couple of little subjects there I want to touch on briefly. Um, you said about the steampunk and the Gothic era, and we're both very much fans of Clive Barker, the author. Midian, just tell me a little bit about that. 'Cause that's based on Kabul, yeah?
Well, not entirely.
Mm,
Like the concept of Midian being an apostate kingdom where the monsters live. My house is called Midian, which says it all. Um, Although the postman does get confused with that. There must be a house down the road called Medium or something. Um, and Yeah, I mean, everything about that album reeked of the monstrous. It was great. I mean, it was like a summer holiday for us. We recorded in this amazing studio. We went back to it two more times after. It doesn't exist anymore. And it was a residential studio where you could live at south
mm,
of England, near on the outskirts of Battle, near Hastings, tiny little village called Catsfield. Beautiful, beautiful studio, beautiful area. Felt like we were on holiday. And like I say, new lineup at that point, and the songs and everything about that time just it could not have been called anything other than Midian. And subsequently, we had Doug Bradley, who played Pinhead,
mm.
each Cenobite in Hellraiser, and also um, he was a character in like the priest Lalsberg, I think his name was, in Nightbreed as well.
Yeah.
Is the Book of Cabal, and yeah, subsequently he's worked with us five or six times. He even took over from Tony. I don't know if you know Tony Todd. He died last year. Played Candyman.
Mm,
He actually um, he did all the narrative on Godspeed and the Devil's Thunder. Little known fact. But his agent didn't tell him what it was about. So all these trial transcripts from the trial of Gilles de Rais, whom the album was about, the prolific French aristocrat, protector of France slash demonologist, serial killer, etc., etc. Um, Tony Todd wasn't told that these things he was reading out from that. He thought it was just from some lurid imagination, and subsequently left the studio. Just went, "Stop this! I'm not doing this anymore," and left the studio. And good old Doug stepped in at the literally 11th hour,
right.
and yeah, so we've worked with Doug quite a lot. But you can imagine when he first came down, the studio wasn't quite ready. It was a beautiful, balmy summer's day, and there was a local pub just beckoning us to
Yeah.
go round there, and we spent about 3 or 4 hours just being enthralled by Doug's chats about Clive, uh, Liverpool University, yeah, and his involvement with Hellraiser, putting them
Mm,
make just amazing, blew our minds.
wow. Wow. Brilliant stuff. And quickly, because I know time is running out. You used to be a journalist as well.
Me,
Yeah.
not really, not really. I mean, I wrote for several magazines. I had my own magazine at one point when the band was um, in its fledgling years, which
Mm,
I illustrated well. Um, yeah, and then I did bits and pieces, and that was my what I was due to be doing had I not persevered with the band. I took a year out. Most people take a year out and go traveling around Europe if they've got the money.
yeah.
I decided that I would see how far the band would go in that year, and haven't had a proper job since.
Danny, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. I'm going to leave you because time is short. I wish you all the very best with the new album. It's coming out on the 21st in 2 weeks. Screaming at the Valkyries. And hopefully, if I'm back from Sweden in time, I will see you in Torquay as well. Thank you very
Oh, that'd
much.
be one. Say hello.
I will. I'll be waving at the background, just throwing maybe having a pet llama, not a lemur, of course.
Not Jeffrey Llama.
Maybe. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Take it easy. Cheerio.